So, so the title of my talk is Towards a Brighter Future with a question mark. How technology is impacting our society. So first of all, a little bit more about me. My research focuses on how the brain responds to technology in a variety of contexts. So I study how the brain processes cybersecurity messages. I study how the brain affects virtual collaboration between teams, and how we process true and false information online, and the certain biases and cognitive biases that we bring into play. So my undergraduate degree was actually at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, in the U.S., and my undergraduate degree is actually in neuroscience, not in business. After I got my undergraduate degree, I went and got an MBA with a concentration in finance, and then I moved on to information systems. So I brought that together in my research and my teaching to understand how we all are affected by technology. So that's a picture of me from several years ago. That's me with what's called an F-NIRS cap on. That cap can measure, it uses infrared light to measure the blood flow in the brain. And so when you pair that up with how somebody's using the technology, you may be able to see some of the benefits of using the technology or the drawbacks of using that technology. We use other cognitive neuroscience tools in our discipline. So that's an MRI scanner, so we can put somebody into an MRI scanner and see how they react to technology as well. See how their brain responds. That's an emotive EEG system, so that's a cap that goes on your head that can measure the electrical activity produced by your brain. And then many of you have probably seen in some way, shape, or form the use of eye tracking. So either through Google Glass or other types of things like that that can track where your eyes are in relation to things. So these are the types of things I use in my research and others use in my area of the field to better understand how we individually respond to technology, and then we draw conclusions on how that might affect the overall society. So first of all, let me be very clear that technology has done a lot of great things for society. I for one, would not be here without technology connecting us more and allowing us to have a program like MEMBA that is a great program to come and teach in and talk about digital transformation in Vietnam. So obviously technology has done a lot of good for society. So if this survey up here, this shows that a survey of people in industry who say that email, for example, is important to their work or vital to their daily work. 61% of people say that. The internet, 54% of people say that is a vital part of what they do. Landline phones, about 35%. Cellular smartphones, that's gone up a lot. It's 24% here. And then social media and networking sites to promote businesses. So obviously, technology adds a lot of good for what we do in our daily work. The other thing is, over the last 4 decades, workforce productivity has increased 84%, and most of that has been in part due to the advancements of digital technology in the workplace. So again, another reason why the adoption of technology and the integration of it into the business life and into our society has created a lot of good things. Now this has happened, like that says, over 4 decades. The position that I take on this is that we've looked at a lot of what technology does that's good for society and good for business, but at this point, we also should take some steps back and think about some of the ways that technology has been not so good, how it's caused disruption, how it's caused some problems within our society and the way we relate to each other. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. That's what my research somewhat focuses on, and it's an important topic to discuss. So I don't know if anybody here has experienced this, but the amount of emails we get throughout the day, we can become overloaded by them. We can We can have way too many to respond to. All of them are having, or most of them might require a response or some additional work time. When you're getting hundreds of emails a day, it can be very hard to process any of the information that's in them because you're just overwhelmed by it. My time teaching, research, and everything else, I can't spend 8 hours a day on email, even though some people might want me to. So email overload technology has increased what we call workplace burnout. And the World Health Organization recently defined workplace burnout as a syndrome that is affecting a lot of people in society. So having too much information and having to do too much with technology leads to feelings of cynicism and being exhausted by the work process throughout the day. Other things that have been done to try to combat or fix things like email overload are the introduction of digital assistants like Alexa or Siri or all these other emergent technologies that try to refine and give us the information that we need when they think we need it. So the key there is they are selecting information for us based on what this algorithm thinks is important for us to process. So we're not using our judgment and seeking out the information that's important anymore. We're trusting a digital space to create and pull out what's important for us to understand and to read. And so these things can make mistakes, and that's important to keep in mind. Okay, that picture's a joke. Social media, this is a quote, social media from Facebook to Twitter have made us more densely networked than ever before. Yet for all this connectivity, new research suggests that we have never been lonelier or more narcissistic, and that loneliness is making us mentally and physically ill. So social media, where we can be connected with people that we haven't been connected to in a long time, there's me and one of my colleagues at University of Hawaii and a number of other researchers around the world are starting to look at what we call the dark side of IT, kind of like a Star Wars reference there. So the dark side of IT, how social media could be causing some problems for us in the way that we interact with each other. And Stephen March in this article takes a position based on research of this. The other aspect of this, and this is very common